We just made these laser engraved, personalized Coir doormats to match our door hangers, and we'll show you how to do it right now. What is up? Welcome back. If you like to do it, build it, or make it.
So do we.
And we have new videos each week. If you've been following along in the Kim and Garrett Make It Facebook group, you might have seen Scott posting his laser engraved doormats. They look really cool.
And we've had a lot of people ask us if we could do a quick video on how to make these doormats. A little background on these doormats. They are called Coir Doormats, C-O-I-R, and they're actually made from coconut fibers. And at first glance, you might not think this would be something that you can laser engrave on.
I didn't. I thought the fibers would be too far apart, and I wasn't even sure if it was laser safe.
But you can laser engrave on them, and we have a couple of tips for you. And this will be a quick and easy video to show you how to make these in just a couple of steps.
Step one, we're gonna gather all of our supplies. We needed the doormat, because that's what we're doing. We're doing doormats. So we're using the Coir doormat. This actually says 100% natural Coir fibers, so it is laser safe. The back is rubber. I did some research. It's also laser safe, so you can cut it out. I wanna cut it out and make some shapes.
Yeah, we haven't tried that yet, but today's video is just gonna be laser engraving on these mats. So this one we actually got locally at our local hardware store for about $10, but you can find them at wholesale prices for as low as $5 each, which would really increase your profit margin.
Step two, we're gonna do a material test card or a material test mat. We have an old mat and we're gonna run our tests on this thing.
Yes, this mat we used for a project that we did a few years ago, and this was actually sitting out in the warehouse by the back door, which is great when you're coming in that back door. It's wet, and it's a great mat to wipe your feet on. But this thing was full. It is full of dust and dirt, and had
all kinds of lint, fuzz, anything that you can think might be flammable was stuck in this thing.
Right.
This thing was just asking to be lit on fire.
Yes,
sawdust. Catch on fire right now.
Sawdust, dust bunnies were all over this thing. So we shook it out, cleaned it up a little bit, and ran a test card.
So we actually ran two test cards. The first one, we needed to get some general settings. So we went pretty broad. Would we go from 350 speed to 550 speed, millimeters per second, and a power of 20 to 50. We kind of dialed that down, and we did another one just to try to get our settings perfect. So we ran another one with more specific requirements. It was 40% power to 60% power, 400 millimeters per second to 500 millimeters per second.
Because this is actually 5 blocks. And you can see that the first 3 blocks didn't do anything. So just these, which was 400 and 500, I think, just these showed up. And that's where we dialed them in from there.
And down here it got too hot. So we just kind of took some general settings, made more specific settings, and really dialed it in. And we really found that 50% power and 500 speed was the sweet spot. It wasn't too slow, so we could actually get these done in a time that was manageable, and then it wasn't too hot where we weren't catching things on fire. So what we did learn is the mat does need to be wet. It will catch on fire, so dampen it down. We just use a squirt bottle to dampen the mat. During the test card, it caught on fire, and we used a squirt bottle to put it out and then dampen it to continue the run.
And we found that defocusing your laser a little bit also helps. You want to keep it away from the fibers. You don't want it too close because it is more likely to catch on fire. So we defocused, or we set a piece of 1/8 inch MDF on top and focused to the 1/8 inch MDF. And that gave us enough distance with the speed and power that we used to come out with a pretty good engrave. And we just focused to that 1/8 inch MDF. So defocus by 1/8 inch.
Step 3, time to engrave. I'm gonna wet this thing down, and we're gonna throw it in the Eon Nova 14 because the bed size is big enough where I'll be able to run it. Now, when I say wet it down, I don't mean drench it with the garden hose. I'm just gonna use a squirt bottle and just dampen it enough where I think it won't catch fire. It doesn't need to be sopping wet or dripping, just damp, moist.
Yeah, just a good spray. I think you sprayed it twice, right? A good spray all the way across.
I did.
Came back and did another spray in the opposite direction. And that's really enough moisture to keep it from sparking. Just because one little spark or ember might catch something else on fire. So it does a great job.
I did stick around and watch it the whole time.
That is definitely 100% a must. You need to be near these as they engrave. You do not want to walk away. This isn't like, you should always be near your laser engraver when it's engraving, but for these, they are more likely to catch on fire. We saw it happen during our testing. So Garrett actually had his laptop in there. These take a while to engrave depending upon your design. And he actually just did some design work while he was sitting out there so he could keep an eye on it the whole time.
Yeah, but nothing happened. It never caught again. It never even looked smoldery.
Right. Once we put the water on here, I think it did a great job. So I wouldn't be super concerned about it flaring up, but I also wouldn't walk away.
We loaded our image into LightBurn. We set our layer to fill. We used 500 speed, 50% power, and then our lines per inch were 250. That was our sweet spot. That's what we did in testing. Step 4, profit. We are all in on these for $10 a piece. You can get them as low as $5, and then I see them for sale for about $20, not personalized. So I don't really think the juice is worth the squeeze.
Well, because it did tie up your laser for an hour. Mm-hmm. So if your laser is free, if you factor in that you pay your laser $15 an hour plus a $10 cost, you're at $25 in on labor and materials. And so selling this for 25 or 30 isn't making you a ton of money. But if you say, hey, my laser's running and I could sit here and do something else while it's engraving for an hour, maybe it's worth it to do a few of them while you're doing some design work. It's not too bad.
I mean, during our slow seasons, we do have an open laser, so I might throw a couple in here, only because they would pair great and be a great bundle with our new designs over here. But if I were gonna do these as a business, I don't know if this would be a profitable business. Is it a good add-on? Yes.
Well, I think it's also a great personalization item. So if you were gonna do a monogram and personalize this with someone's name, you can get more for them, $35 to $45. And I think these make great wedding gifts, those kinds of things.
That is a good wedding gift, yeah.
So I think that gives you the profit margin that you're looking for.
This might be a good realtor gift.
Oh, yes.
This would be a great realtor gift. Throw the name on it. Yep. Well, we are about out of time. So if you're not going to join us for the Patron After Show, we will see you next week where we'll do it, build it, and make it again. Big thanks to all of our patrons. We love you guys. That is the best way to support this channel. Oh, we got some big news on the Patreon front. We updated the ways that you can get your files from us. You used to have to scroll through Patreon and try to find my SVG that I might have named something different. So now you could just go out to the website. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you're a mastered or made it to your patron, you can access your files right from the website, just like if you were to purchase one. You'll go in, it'll automatically recognize you at what level Patreon membership you are, and you'll be able to add the items to your cart and check out for free.
I mean, That was me.
That was his accomplishment
Myself
for the
on
week.
back. All right. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.